Ooh, we're headed to Miami
I
for
love
Lights,
that.
Camera, Jackson.
Lights, Camera,
Lamar's
Jackson.
back. Ravens defense looks to be back, maybe.
I've been telling y'all,
What?
it's going to be sweet when you guys have to admit.
Really?
When it's been 7 straight weeks of solid defensive play, and you have to admit,
ask you a
like
question?
last year, you know what, you were right.
So here's
Because
the thing.
last year, when I
7 weeks
said
from
it was
now.
the culture, I said they have a defensive culture, they will be back.
Yeah, we are.
You mocked me, you laughed
No
at me,
question,
you
Steve.
ridiculed me, and then weeks later, you were agreeing.
last year.
New segment alert called Judge Parkins.
Oh.
I'm making the freestyle segment. Judge Parkins.
I'm ready to go.
Court's in order. My argument.
All right, your argument. Go ahead.
I'll say Brew's argument.
Wait,
He
The
doesn't get to make his
Ravens
own argument?
defense has been good for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're back. And they're unquestioned. You can't question the fact they're back. My argument, Judge Parkins. The Dolphins defense has been good for 1 week. And that's just nothing. You can throw that in the trash.
Right.
And guess what? I didn't even bring it up. The Dolphins defense held Bijan Robinson to about 50 total yards, 25, 26 or something like that, running through the air. So do I have a case that he should be a little bit worried? I'm not buying in that the defense
Now
is
let me
back.
make my case.
I was
'Cause he
gonna say, he made
misrepresented
your
my
case.
case.
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, the Ravens defense played well against everybody's All-American, not Kirk Cousins, all right? Making his first start in years, all right?
Please address the judge, not the defendant.
yeah.
That's
What am I
number
doing?
one,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And then Caleb, who you think is awesome, who you think is Patrick Mahomes 2.0. They shut him down, all right? And they have a defensive culture. And I'm not saying they're back. I'm saying they are en route to being back. They will continue to get better and better and better. And by the season's end, it'll be like a top 12-ish defense, which I can take.
All
I
right,
can handle
rule.
that.
I don't even know how you're going to do it. but
Can I
you
just
gotta
throw
rule.
out the case?
Yeah.
Overruled, it goes to the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I accept it.
Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
I
All
accept
right.
it.
Now, for the
What's
second
happening?
straight first things first overtime, should we attempt to answer the
Yeah, what's
question
on the
that's
line
on the
for
bar?
Lamar tonight?
Me or you, Brew?
Go ahead.
All right, fine, I'll do it. Listen, he has to be great. He has to be great. Now, it's not about like style points, but like Lamar and the Ravens have to be great. They have to win. They have to begin the run because they have eliminated all of the margin for error. The defense wasn't good. Lamar was injured. The defense was injured. Now's the right. They got 5 losses. So you can't mess around. You were just talking about the Dolphins against the Falcons last week. Weird things can happen on a Thursday night road game. Like, this is not a lock. No game in the NFL is a lock. And I get it. They should win. But if you look at their upcoming schedule for the next 5 opponents, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but their defenses are awful. So hopefully we stop talking about the Ravens defense. The goal here should be that the 2-time MVP of the league, who is back, carries them, and they put up 30 a game against all of those teams, and the defense can be 12th or 17th or 19th or wherever they're going to settle in this year. It's time for Lamar to show that he's great, which he is.
I think he will be great. Where I differ with you is he has to be great. They have to win. If he's not great and they win, I'll take it because I'll look at it as rust, like you.
Sure.
And just think, okay, he's going, they'll get better. They do have the cushion with those teams they're playing to gradually get better and maybe still win. I think he will be great. I'd like to see him be great. I would say what's on the line, that question, and this isn't literal, but playoffs. Not meaning if they lose, they won't make it, but I'm just saying, like, I talked about the Chiefs not having a ton of room for error. Like, you don't have that much room for error. And again, just like we said about Chicago, if they lose to the Dolphins with Lamar, then you just might not be good enough to win the number of games you need to win going forward. You could lose to a Cleveland or a Pittsburgh or somebody, or certainly Green Bay and New England.
Certainly. And you have, not so much today, but overall, you keep making the point correctly. The Ravens are still us, Bob. You don't want the goalpost to move to where, it's like pat on the head. Oh, good job. You clawed your way into the playoffs. Narratively, though, that has happened. And it's happened because and I tried to make this point last hour, but I'm going to harp on it here, and it's why what's on the line. Lamar needs. I will give Lamar grace because of the rust factor, but the Ravens in short order need to look awesome again. They need to, because they were,
for people to think
they were the favorites to win the Super Bowl. They were road favorites in Kansas City. I poke fun sometimes, or poke at other media members' kind of obsession with regular season Baltimore and regular season Lamar. But a guy I have a lot of respect for, and shout out to him, congrats on the newest addition to his family, Ben Solak, put on either Twitter or Blue Sky during week 1 while they were dismantling Buffalo. He's like, week 1 of the season, something to the effect of, it all feels so unfair and anticlimactic because Baltimore is so clearly better than every other team in the league. I don't even know who's going to be in second. The feeling about Baltimore going into this year was they're the best team, that they arguably should have the 2-time defending MVP, 3-time overall MVP. Yep. The defense got better because it ended last year so strong. Right. That's where we were. And then it was a combination of defensive injuries, weird stories, Lamar gets hurt, and it all kind of has fallen down. But the defense is the healthiest it's been all year, with the exception of Matabuke, who's not coming back. Lamar is now back. To Danny's graphic, you have the easiest schedule of any team in the NFL over the next 5 weeks. You should kick ass. If you are an actual Super Bowl contender, let alone favorite, it should be a bunch of 31-13 type of performances when the quarterbacks you're playing are Tua, J.J. McCarthy, whoever starts for the Browns at that point, call it Dylan Gabriel, Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor for the Jets, and then Jake Browning or Joe Flacco for the Bengals. Like, it should be that you are red hot going into the Steelers game, which is, I think, the first game after that stretch. Like, that's what it's got to be.
Brood, was it Lamar that earlier in the show that we had sound from that said it's do or die?
I don't know if he exactly said.
Okay, it was.
We had him speak.
Yeah, so Hobbs told me it was. I was like, I think it was Lamar. Glass half full. This is very half full. Like 54.
Exactly half full, yeah.
This might be just what the doctor ordered for you. Because Lamar has been cruising through these regular seasons, and we always would be like, man, he plays so loose and free during the regular season when they're up and nothing's really in doubt. The playoffs are a foregone conclusion. But now it's a game against the Dolphins is do or die. He's getting all this season in the balance stuff for the playoffs. Maybe get some callus on his. What did he refer to it as? Remember, he was like, I play antsy.
Yeah, I get antsy.
Yeah. Maybe having some playoff type games in the regular season might.
Then you start going in the playoffs.
And you
That's
remember,
very glass half full.
In the off season, I said I would like some. It might be nice for some adversity. Now I didn't want this much adversity. But yeah, I mean, this could actually be good for them because they have kind of cruised the last few years. So, yeah, I hope you're right.
Well, the other thing, too, is when we've seen Lamar this year, he has been great.
Right. That's why I don't know about the rust because, I mean, from game 1, he's like game 1, he was great.
Yeah, they're averaging
last
33 a game. They're averaging 30 when he plays. So I just expect him to be great. But the NFL's weird. This isn't college football. Weird thing.
I just want to say one thing before we get to quarterback quarterly on the rust. We've never seen Lamar after an injury layoff. The 2 times he's missed time, he didn't come back.
Out for the season.
So it was.
That's true.
2021, he missed the final 4 games. 2022, he missed the final 5 games and the playoff game. He didn't, and it might be 4 and 5 or 5 and 4, but whatever it is, he was out and never. They were end of season injuries. So yes, we've seen Lamar obviously in week 1, but that's different. That's when everybody's coming off training camp, and so I will give Lamar some grace tonight because I do think rust is a very real factor for him. I won't give the defense grace because I don't think they've earned it, even though we're in the post-T7
They shouldn't get grace, though.
Yeah, and so I am interested to see how Lamar looks, with the first time ever where he's missed a month during the year and is coming back.
They may rely more on Henry, too.
Well, that's the other guy
Miami
who's kind of
not
gotten a pass, but slid under the radar that he hasn't had this monster year.
It's time now for our second installment of Quarterback Quarterly with Week 8 in the books. We're going to do this 4 times. It's an old throwback to when there were 16 games, but it still works, I think.
I think so too. Technically, it's the third. We did a preseason report, before the regular season, and then after week 4, after week 8. So,
I remember, Danny.
Thanks, Nick. You're a true friend. So these are the guys that are off the quarterly report. The injured quadrant, self-explanatory. Lamar, Purdy, Kyler, Jaden, J.J. McCarthy. A lot of them coming back this week, including Lamar, tonight. The waiting game. Since he's waiting for Joe Burrow to return, the Saints still waiting for a franchise quarterback, probably in the draft, but who knows? Maybe Tyler Shook. The lower right quadrant. Locally, yes. You cannot tell a Broncos fan anything negative about Bo Nix. They love him in Denver. Jackson Dart, they think they got the answer in New York City. Nationally, we got a lot of questions about those guys. And then CJ Stroud. I don't know who you are anymore. 3 games this year, you've been great. 4 games this year, you've been awful. The first 17 games of your career, you were awesome. The second 17 games of your career, you were bad. I don't know who you are.
All right, hold on. Before you move on, Wilds, you look quizzical.
No, let's keep going.
No.
Quarterback quarterly.
No.
No, it's good. Let's keep going.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I still want to go.
I'm weak in confidence.
No,
No, Lyles doesn't like it.
no.
Okay.
No,
No.
it's just I
So we're
It
stuck.
looks like a chemistry equation.
No,
Well,
let's
we're
go.
good. It's a quarterly report.
Let's keep
It's a
going.
quarterly
Let's
report.
keep
How
going.
I'm grouping the quarterbacks now.
This part I like.
Wilds doesn't remember, but the beginning, the first one, there was the It's Fluid quadrant.
I remember.
Trademark Brew. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
Then after Q1, there was, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Trademark Wilds. So we debut with T5, the throwers that torpedo the team. TTTT.
Oh,
Trademark Nick.
I like
had to
that.
get one.
You left the T out when you.
Well, I mean, he had T7, you have
Did
T6.
Nick come up with that?
No, I came up with it, but he
That's-
said that everyone's
that's good.
biting his
I like
the
that.
throwers that torpedo the team. Dylan Gabriel, Justin Fields,
like
Tua,
that.
Cam Ward, Michael Penix.
So Wilds
Bryce
is
Young.
the only one that can't do an 8.
Hold on a second.
T something.
Well, Trevor's team hasn't been torpedoed.
Okay.
That's unfair to him.
He's the weak point of the team objectively.
They're a few weeks away.
They would be. The guy's got 9 touchdowns, 5 picks, middle of the pack in yards. Everything
a
else.
lot of Nick guys on that list.
I noticed the same thing, Brew. I noticed the same thing.
What are you?
Maybe that just is what it is.
I noticed the same thing. You would not agree that Trevor Lawrence is holding back the Jaguars?
Well, it doesn't. It's not the throwers that are slightly holding back an otherwise promising team. It says torpedoed, and I don't think they've
How
been
about
torpedoed.
tanked the team?
Tanked
They
the team?
tanked the
They're
team.
not tanked yet either.
No,
They're 4-4.
tanked, T-A-I-N-T.
Oh, okay, got you. All right,
Tanked.
go ahead. Go ahead, next.
We'll
Gino.
think about that one. going
Where's
forward.
Caleb, though?
Oh, so I'm glad you asked, Brew. It's Danny's quarterback quarterly. So the second quadrant, do it for me. Do it for Danny. Justin Herbert and Caleb.
Wow.
These guys need to play well so that they have a prayer of staying in the A, B, or C blocks of these shows.
Yeah.
I've just staked a lot of my national reputation that Caleb will be great, and I know Justin Herbert's great, but he needs to win in order for us to talk about the Chargers.
Is there anyone, because we all have our guys,
Yeah.
and sometimes we have our main guys, then we have kind of like our
Auxiliary.
auxiliary like squads. Who is there? These are just the only 2 guys you rock with? In
No,
the
he
whole
has
league?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's
Do
my
you
MVP.
have Josh?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Josh
He's
Allen's
MVP
second
and
best
Super
player
Bowl
in
pick.
football,
Yeah.
Super Bowl
Well, you
pick,
picked-
MVP.
Okay.
I've been saying
Yeah,
Josh
I
Allen.
don't know if that qualifies, though, as him having Josh.
Well,
You think he's great? We all
well,
think
you
he's
certainly
great.
don't have him.
No, I know, but I mean,
oddly,
he
Josh Allen,
is
you're a Josh
open.
Allen guy.
Nobody has a.
I mean, I'm the Josh Allen guy.
You
Everybody
can't be
knows
a
that.
Josh Allen guy
But
when you got
Danny,
Mahomes.
let me rephrase it. I was the Josh Allen guy, then Danny came along.
He's
and took
there
it.
for the
That's
taking.
fine, but go
And
ahead.
if you
Let's
claim
get back to
him,
your
okay,
quarterly.
but I,
Sorry.
yeah, these 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, these 2 are comfortably
like
mine.
the-
I would love to have Josh Allen.
No, those are your guys.
He's an auxiliary guy.
All right, he can be
Auxiliary.
he's an auxiliary guy. The next quadrant are guys who are playing at their ceiling. I cannot imagine a better version of Baker, Goff, Hurts, Dak, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Rodgers. Now, these are very different players right now. Dak is throwing the ball at a level that Aaron Rodgers is not in terms of downfield, the Bake Show with the fourth quarter comebacks. Some stats for Jordan Love are exemplary. We've seen Hurts have better individual numbers at times, though he only has 1 interception. But these guys, I cannot imagine their fan base saying, you know what, I think there's another gear here. I can think that this guy is going to play much better.
I think that's fair. You're a little too down on Baker for my liking, but we'll get to our critiques in a moment. I'll let you finish.
Oh, wow.
You're just too down on Baker. He doesn't. Your stupid eye test. You don't like him.
I like Baker a lot. He just easily
you're
could
like
have a
Brew.
losing record.
I like him, but go ahead.
I like him, but he easily could have a losing record. And then the final quadrant, the MVP candidates. Now, Jonathan Taylor cannot be in this quadrant because it's quarterback quarterly, but these are the only 4 quarterbacks I can legitimately see winning the MVP award. Patrick Mahomes, that's obvious. Josh Allen, MVP from last year. He's the 3rd favorite right now for MVP. Schedule opens up. He should go on a massive statistical run. Matt Stafford's stats have been absolutely incredible. And Drake May's got a legit shot at the 1 seed. And if he keeps having big plays every week, there's going to be a lot of narrative stuff on his side. Those are the 4 guys who can win the MVP. So that's how I am grouping the quarterbacks after the 2nd quarter of the NFL season.
Okay, so listen, I think it's a good quarterback quarterly with one, I think, just glaring error.
Glaring error.
And that is Josh Allen does not have a stronger MVP case than, and I can't believe I'm saying this, than Jordan Love. He just doesn't. And the idea that, well, his schedule's going to open up, his schedule's been wide open. Doors unlocked, windows, drapes blowing in the breeze. And Josh, if we put up his numbers next to Jordan Love, who has had a far more tumultuous schedule, Jordan Love has been better. Now, listen, Josh has 5 rushing touchdowns, and 2 of those 5 are not from 1 yard out, so I give him, full. In my brain, he has 3.25 rushing touchdowns. But regardless, I'll give him that.
What's sad about that is I totally understand how that breaks.
Yeah, but Josh has not been better than Jordan Love. His team hasn't been better. They haven't played a harder schedule, and I understand that he is. I actually think he's 2nd in the odds right now. I think it's Mahomes, then Allen.
Yeah, that's right. And then Drake.
And then
Drake.
Drake.
5-1. That's true.
And so, but that is about projection of where they think Josh is going to end up. But if right now, in my opinion, if anyone were to make a top 5 MVP ballot, there is not an argument that Josh Allen should be on it.
Can I make an argument for Josh Allen? And I'm the Drake May guy.
Right now in top 5.
Yeah.
Well, some of the game against the Panthers, I felt was instructive because he had another game like that. Was it the Jets game or the Dolphins?
No, the Jets game.
The Jets
game where they blew him out and he didn't do much.
It's like we're winning by 20. Like, what do you want me to do? Throw the ball around the field?
But he's not lighting it up to get the lead.
Yeah,
but
I mean, James Cook leads the NFL in rushing. And listen, Nick, those numbers are indisputable. I agree. And I'm not doing the weekly Bruce Bell thing. I said those are the only quarterbacks I can see winning MVP. The Packers.
You can't see Jordan Love winning MVP?
I feel like I've heard you say multiple times, I feel like they've been carried more by their defense. Like Micah Parsons, that's going to be the complete totality of the team, how star-laden they are. I think that's going to be a thing that works against him this year.
I mean,
He's been very good.
I think that the Steeler game could be a narrative turning point for him. I also think at some point his numbers have to be the numbers. And it's not like Micah is on pace for 22 sacks.
Yeah. Well, you could bet Jordan Love at 18-1 right now if you want.
Well, yeah, listen, I think Patrick is going to end up, I think that the MVP race is going to come down to 3 guys. Patrick, Stafford, and Drake.
Stafford, really?
Stafford's numbers, KW, are 17 touchdowns and 2 picks, I think, with like a 118 rating. His numbers are bananas. It's kind of flown under the radar.
Yeah, numbers are. Drake played 1 more game.
Yeah, that's right. And so I just think, and again, I agree with you that Josh's 2nd best player in the league. I just don't think he's had that caliber of season so far.
Look, Nick stole a lot of my thunder, which I knew when I saw what we were doing, where you were going. I agree with almost everything you said because I think Love should definitely be up there. And as Nick said, right now, early in the season, you're thinking of individual games. Has he had that moment? But there's going to come a point where you got to really look at the numbers.
Yep.
And it won't be about remembering this individual game or that one. And his numbers, and if they're the 1 seed, which obviously is what they are right now, then he's going to be in serious consideration. But I don't. So I would move Josh down too. I don't think Josh right now is an MVP candidate. He probably will be at the end of the year. I think Hurts, though, has another level to go to.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'm not putting him in the MVP race right now, but I don't think he's at his ceiling.
I see what
the fact that he raises every time he's in at least the Super Bowl, when he's in those games.
Or when he's questioned.
We saw a few years ago, A.J. Brown was getting his target. A.J. Brown had great numbers a couple years ago with Jalen. So I do think there's a place where AJ's happy He's cooking. Devontae's happy, and they're still winning. So I think he can go to a different level.
I mean, the guy's got one interception this year.
Yeah, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception.
So I don't know how much better than that he can play.
Well, they're probably the 200 passing yards, but here's
but
the
I don't think they're
galaxy.
gonna let him do it.
Right, here's the galaxy brain question that we don't have time for. Just marinate on it. Would Jalen Hurts' MVP case be strengthened if they trade A.J. Brown?
Of course.
You're
Yes.
saying, but he
Or
would.
with Wes.
Oh, you mean he would play?
Well, I'm saying he
put up
would.
the numbers?
You're saying, of course, but that then assumes he
would
would not
keep
have any
winning,
drop off
right.
in production without A.J. Brown.
I actually think if they keep winning and he keeps, like you said, pedestrian yards per game, but they keep winning, he's not turning over, throwing some
And Saquon
touchdowns.
is not
I think he
dominating.
may work his way into the MVP.
Well, that's how it happened a few years ago.
Yeah,
when they had a
yeah.
really good record. He didn't have crazy yards that year either,
No.
but he didn't turn the ball over. He had really good.
That's the third episode of Quarterback Quarterly.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Frenemies. Last night, the Blue Jays took the lead in the series. Magic Johnson told me it's tied 2-2. Whoever wins Game 5, it's a big game. Schneider Guerrero back-to-back homers to lead it off. 12 strikeouts, 7 innings for the Blue Jays. Nick, what was your biggest takeaway from Game 5?
Well, from my biggest takeaway from Game 5 is the same as my biggest takeaway for the series. I think the Blue Jays are better than the Dodgers. And I think that what we have seen this postseason is that the Dodgers were getting an in my opinion, sustainable level of starting pitching leading up to the World Series. That we had numbers showing that their 4 starters were matching what the Schilling, Randy Johnson, Diamondback staff 24 years ago
Right, from
did.
the dead ball era of pitching. Right, yeah.
And so that wasn't going to keep up. So in order for the Dodgers to compensate, they need their superstars to perform. And it's weird to say about Shohei because in the World Series, he had one of the greatest baseball games ever played. But aside from that, he has not been good. And Mookie is in a slump at the worst possible time. And the Blue Jays feel, and I know it's probably recency bias, slump-proof, because it just feels like they have so many guys that can just get on base, that can just get a hit, and then their superstar, Vladdy, is played like a superstar the entire postseason.
Yeah, but it looked like they slumped when they played Yamamoto, who goes tonight, right? Like the old adage of momentum in baseball is your next day's starting pitcher. So I'm not with you that the Blue Jays are better than the Dodgers, but they're clearly playing better. And that's the cruelty of baseball. You take 162 games of a huge sample size, and then you boil it down to the small sample size.
But in 162 games, the Blue Jays had a better record.
I know. But the Dodgers had a ton of starting pitching injuries early in the year. Like, we saw what they did last year. I can just look at the roster. It's just one of those things, like, they have more talent. They do. Call it my eye test transferring over to baseball.
They do have more talent.
Yeah,
however,
that makes them better.
However, if over the course of a 162-game season they had, let's call it the same record, because there's one game difference.
Right.
And then in 5 World Series games, the Blue Jays have thoroughly outplayed them in 3.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have thoroughly outplayed them in 1.
And then one was an
one
all-timer.
game is, one of the longest games in baseball, in postseason baseball history. Call it the definition of a coin flip. I feel like the Blue Jays could win tomorrow night to win the World Series, and you would be like, yeah, the Dodgers were better.
Now, you're going to hate this take.
Yeah.
But if the Blue Jays won tomorrow night, and then if instead of 2 days later they had a parade, they started the World Series over 0-0, I would pick the Dodgers.
Yeah, of course you would.
That's just how baseball works, man.
Of course
And
you would.
to your point on the Dodgers slumping at the wrong time, that's what's happening. We can show the numbers. All of their best hitters are underperforming their playoff expected outcomes, except for Shohei Ohtani, which, as you mentioned, is carried by that one
game.
incredible superstar game. So, I would assume those guys will regress to their mean. They're just running out of time to do it.
Okay. I mean, credit to the Blue Jays, I think. They've been awesome all year. That rookie starting pitcher last night was great.
Incredible.
And if the Dodgers are lucky, this thing's not over.
That's true.
They won the 18-inning game. And again, by the way, I think it's going 7 because I think Yamamoto is going to be great tomorrow. I just think the Blue Jays are better.
All right, let's talk Bills-Chiefs. It's been a while. To Buffalo. This one actually might break the group chat apart for a minute. Knicks Chiefs, my Super Bowl pick Bills. Some people would call this a generational rivalry. By some people, I think it's most people who watch football. Maybe your guy Patrick Mahomes will change Nick's mind on the subject. All right. So it's a rivalry. Mahomes just said it.
Okay, is that the question?
No, it's not the question. I just wanted to point out you said it was a rivalry.
He's a gracious guy. He's a gracious guy.
All right, fine. The actual question. What would a win, another win, over Mahomes for Allen mean?
Nothing.
Great.
Go ahead.
Listen, I've argued sports with you for the better part of 20 years.
Yeah.
You have very impressively and creatively created a universe where Josh Allen can beat Patrick Mahomes and he has nothing to gain, and Patrick Mahomes can lose to Josh Allen and he loses nothing.
I didn't create that universe. They did. They created the universe by having, and I thought Patrick's answer there was very interesting, where he said they do a good job being game plan specific. Which again, I'm not speaking for Patrick,
Here we go.
but I believe one of the reasons historically the Chiefs have beaten the Bills in the playoffs despite losing to them in the regular season is I don't think the Chiefs are game plan specific for the regular season game. I don't think the Chiefs put everything into beating the Bills in the regular season. I think they are pretty vanilla and they of course try to win, but they know the Bills are going to fire all their bullets.
But you don't think that for this game.
Well, that's an interesting element.
You definitely don't think that for this game.
I'm not certain about this game because this game, both teams don't have as much of a margin of error as they've had in the past, or you could argue no margin of error. But historically, I think that's been an edge, where the Chiefs get a real true scout on what Buffalo's going to want to do during the regular season for the playoff game, and the Bills don't. But you're saying I've created this universe. What do you think it would mean? What would it mean? If Allen beats
Here's what I
Mahomes.
think. I think we have created a situation where we've devalued all of the regular season. If the only thing that we can say, he's beaten Patrick in the regular season. He has the regular season numbers. We agree he's the second best player in football. The only thing he doesn't have is an AFC championship and a Super Bowl, and he hasn't beaten Mahomes in the playoffs. Well, this isn't a playoff game.
Yes.
So based on how we just talk about sports, if that's the answer to the question, then why are we playing the games? To me, what this is about is less about the Allen Mahomes narrative and legacy and all that stuff. It is the loser of this game is going to play a road playoff game. It's a team thing. So Josh Allen has already proven enough to me that he is the second best player, that he is a Hall of Famer. And he has proven enough to me that he is absolutely capable of beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He just hasn't done it yet.
Well, so, okay.
I know it drives you crazy.
No, it doesn't drive me crazy. It's just, it is to me no different than saying Drake May has proven he can beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. In fact, Drake May has, you could argue.
But Drake May hasn't beaten Patrick Mahomes in the regular season.
No, but he also hasn't lost to him every single time they played in the playoffs. He's not 0 for 4. He hasn't had the ball in his hands each of the last few years with a chance to go do it and not come through. But I agree with you holistically that a lot of sports commentary devalues the regular season and, at the service of the postseason. A ton of NBA commentary is that, maybe too much football commentary. This is the one matchup where it's totally legitimate, where it is not about what these two teams do against each other in the regular season, because we have seen repeatedly one team win in the regular season and then the other team in either building win in the postseason.
But I think that narrative stuff works in the NBA because one player does dominate so much. They're 1 of 5 on the court. Here's my question, and this, you might hate this question, but we got 90 seconds left, whatever. You like to tweak Bills fans that the pick that the Chiefs used to draft Mahomes was a traded pick with Buffalo.
Yeah.
You agree that Allen is the second best player to Mahomes.
Yes.
Football is the ultimate team game. What if the Bills would have taken Mahomes?
Then the Bills would have a dynasty.
You really think that?
Of course.
No, come
they
on.
Have the best.
No, you don't.
Danny.
If the second part of the question is if the next year the Chiefs would have traded up for Allen,
then they would have been really good.
And Josh Allen would have been with Andy Reid.
But you know what we have seen? what we've never gotten to see is, man, could Josh Allen overcome a bad defense? We might see it this year because they might not be good. That scenario you're painting is that Patrick Mahomes walks into the first 4 years of his career, he has a top 4 defense in football. That's what Josh Allen had. So, yes, if Patrick would have been drafted by Buffalo and instantly had a great defense and Stephon Diggs, they would have been the dynasty. Of course they would have
With
been.
Sean McDermott and no Tyreek Hill and no
you're right.
Travis Kelce?
No, they would not have had the weapons, but they also wouldn't have had to score 35 a game. The two Super Bowl winners that allowed the most points in the playoff run in NFL history are the 2019 Chiefs and the 2022 Chiefs. No quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl while allowing more than 25 points per game in a playoff run, except for Mahomes, who's done it twice. You're asking me if Mahomes would have gotten a great defense instead of the worst defense in football. Of course, Andy is great. Travis is one of the greatest players ever. Tyreek Hill, they've won 2 Super Bowls and been to 3 straight without him. He's a great player, but I think Patrick's proven he can do it without him.
Of course he has.
The idea that it's just dumb luck, that, man, if Josh had just gotten a better circumstance, when he's been at home, he's been favored, he's had the better defense in 3 of the 4 matchups, I think it's crazy. The difference is one team has the greatest player in the history of the sport and the other team doesn't.
It's just fun that when the Chiefs lose to the Bills, it's because they're really not trying that hard.
No, it's not that they're not trying that hard.
They're not game planning that
It's
hard.
that it doesn't mean as much to them.
Okay.
Doesn't mean as much to them.
Well.
This year it means a lot, and I think they're going to beat them.
It does mean a lot because 5-3 Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then
Whoever loses this game likely is in 7th place in the conference. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.